What is up, everybody? How you doing today? Today we're out here on Verhunga with the other account, and we have the second and final video in the beginner series. Okay, so there's just a few more things I want to go over. The most important being skills and perks, which ones you should probably try and get, which ones would serve you the best, and yada yada yada, on and on and on. So, let's go on and take a look at those. So, for your skills, they're divided into two sections, Stalker and Ambusher, okay? And you get skills and perks by leveling up, okay? I don't remember how many you get exactly for each, but it's like, I don't know, is it 25 or something? 20? Okay, something around that. So, in here we have, let's start with, so locate tracks. This is in the Stalker section of the skills. This is something you want to get all three of, okay? Because with level 1, the tracking cone becomes more narrow. Increase the distance at which tracks are visible and highlighted. That's a really helpful thing. And if you're tracking an animal and you've lost a couple tracks, you might not be able to find them, but if you can see the tracks further away, it might definitely help you. And level 3 also helps with that. Another very important one is track knowledge, which reveals information about the animal's gender, the group size, and the health of the animal, and the animal's weight when you investigate the tracks. Okay, so those are very important to have, because when you're finding tracks around, it helps you kind of know what's in the area. Okay, this is really not an all that important one that I worry with. This one's, it's nice to have. It's not a must, but I do use it quite a good bit. Weather prediction, not really. Soft feet, this is a very important one, especially if you want to use the bows more or the handguns. This will help you get in closer to animals without making much noise, but they are just generally all around very helpful to have. Connect the dots, I mean, I really don't get this one a lot. This one is like when you're on your hunter mate, when it puts a line in between the tracks that you've found per animal. So I don't know. It's really not super useful for me. Initiate triangulation. Innate triangulation. Initiate. Wow, my English is awful. Each level decreases the size of the animal vocalization. So like when an animal calls, you have the white rings and stuff. It'll decrease that so you can see better where the animal is. I mean, that's an okay one to have. It helps. It's not super important, but it does help. Improvise blind decreases your visibility. That is a definite one to have, okay? Endurance. This is another really good one to have, okay? Increases your endurance so that your heart rate rises slower when moving and falls faster when you're out. It really does help. So that's a really big one to have. Startle call. Not really. It's not all that important. Wind prediction? No. I mean, unless you're going to be a bow hunter, really it's not all that much. Disturbed vegetation, though, is a very nice one to have, because you can then see the fur type of the animal, and without it, you might not realize that an animal is a rare fur type, albino, melanistic, piebald, etc. Okay, so those are some of the more important ones to have. Then we go to Ambusher. You want to try and even out between these. Now, Scent Tinkerer, really, you don't need a lot of them, but you have to have at least one of them to move further down. So, I mean, you have to get one of them. Dazed and Confused, not really. It's not all that important. The more the merrier. That's not a bad one to have if you're going to do all the missions and you want to get more money from them. That's a good one to have sometimes. If you have an extra skill point that you really don't know what to do with, that's a good one to have. Spotting knowledge, you want to get all three of these, okay? These are very helpful because they tell you the health of the animal when you spot it. Then their trophy rating and weight, that's really important if you want to know like how big an animal is, if it has potential of making diamond or not. And then also it reveals information about how aware the animal is of nearby threats. So it'll let you know when the animal starts to recognize that you're there. That's a really important one to have. Sight spotting. This is another one that I love to get. I get it all the time. What you do is when you're using your scope, you can then spot animals through the scope like you would with the binoculars. Very, very helpful. Instead of having to switch from binoculars and then to the gun, and then if you miss the spotting outline, again to the binoculars and then again to the gun, it gets really annoying sometimes. This helps a lot. Okay. Fatal attraction. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, if you're going to be a bow hunter, this is a nice one to have. But generally, I don't get this one. Impact resistant. I mean, this one is helpful. I mean, I generally don't get it, but it's not a bad one to have. Generally, in the ambusher, I only get the first one here, the 3 of these, this one, and then sight spotting. That's really all I get here. I don't really mess with a lot of other things. But pack mule, that's a nice one to have if you're taking tents and tripods around with you. If you want to carry an extra gun, that's a good one to have. Who's deer? I mean, it's not all that important. Tag, you can spot more than one animal at a time. I mean, it's an okay one to have, but generally, I'm not needing to spot more than one animal at a time. Keen eye adds a chance of revealing need zones on the map near a lookout point, and adds a chance of revealing animal groups on the map near a lookout point. Now, this is when you survey the lookout point, so it doesn't do you any good once you've already got all the lookout points unlocked. But, I mean, it's not an awful one, but generally I don't make it this far to get it. Hill caller increases the attraction range of all callers when used within 10 meters of a lookout point. That's not really all that useful. I mean, maybe for some people, but I just don't think so. And then haggle. You're a likable person, reduces the cost of all items in the outpost store by 5%. I mean, that's not a bad one to have. If you want to get that one, it would be helpful in the long run. But generally, I don't worry about it much. So those are kind of the skills that I would recommend. Now on to perks. Now, perks are split between rifles, handguns, shotguns, and archery. Now, generally I focus on rifles and shotguns, but that's just what I hunt with. You can go with what you hunt with more, whatever. But in here we have muscle memory. This is a must. That way you can reload your gun without having to put the gun down, get out of the scope and everything. And it also increases the rate speed. So if you're grinding for a certain animal and you want to make quick follow-up shots, good one to have. Breath control, another very good one to have. I always like getting this one. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one while I'm right here. But this is a really good one to have. It helps steady your aim, and you can hold your breath for longer, because right now, when you just begin the game, you cannot hold your breath very long at all, but this really helps with it. And then steady hands decreases the wobble of the gun, another very helpful one, especially if you're taking longer shots. Now, zeroing, I have another video on this. I'll try to remember to leave the link to it up in the corner. If not, sorry, but I will try. This is a very important perk. It helps you range your gun for longer distances. That way you don't have to try and hold over or under an animal depending on how far they are. This helps you zero to right where they are. That's very helpful. Focus shot, holding your breath increases zoom when using rifles with iron, red dot, and holographic sights. Yeah, it's an okay one. I don't generally get it a lot though. And wind gauge, I mean, not really. I don't really use it all that much. And if you're a bow hunter, it might be useful, but generally no. Handguns, quick draw. Where is it? Yeah, sprint and load. That's one you definitely want to get, because then you can load the gun while you're running. Very helpful. Quick feet, recover, steady aim faster, changing stances. That's not a bad one. Survival instinct, damage from animal attacks is reduced after landing a shot on an aggressive animal. That is a nice one to have if you're like hunting Cape buffalo or something. Ranger, ability to gauge approximate distance. I mean, that's not a bad one. I mean, I'm sure it would be nice, but it's not a bad one. Lightning hands. This is a really good one if you want to be able to reload your gun quickly. This is a great one to get. Quick Draw increases the speed and accuracy of hip shots. I mean, really, I don't think hip shots are something you ought to be going for a ton. So it's not all that useful. Both eyes open decreases edge blur with shotguns. If you do a lot of goose and duck hunting, that's probably not a bad one to get. Fast shouldering increases the speed of entering and exiting aim mode. Again, if you use shotguns a lot, it's a nice one to have. Weapon sights align faster after rotating with any weapon. This is a really good one to get, especially if you're grinding for animals and such. That's a good one to get. Recoil management, that's another really good one to get. Boomstick, that one's more just for fun. Tracer shot and firing shotguns pellet will leave behind smoke trails. I mean, it's not a bad one, but generally I don't mess with it. And then archery. Full draw increases the time an arrow can be drawn in aim mode. If you're using bows a lot, this one is very helpful. Move and shoot. I mean, generally I'm not moving when I'm shooting, so I don't generally get this one, but it can be helpful. Increased confidence increases accuracy of all bows when shooting from the hip. Again, you shouldn't be taking a lot of hip shots. They're very inaccurate, they're very inconsistent. So generally I don't mess with this one. Like a pro, unlocks the ability to enter aim mode with a bow while prone. That's a nice one to have sometimes, especially if you do a lot of bow hunting. Pumping iron, increased arm strength means more draw length. Increases the kinetic energy of all bows, which in turn means more damage, penetration, and speed using the same arrows. That's another nice one to have. And then recycle. This is a nice one to have if you want to be able to like retrieve some of your arrows and bolts. That way you don't have to go and always buy more. This can be useful. So yeah, those are kind of the skills and perks that are the most useful at certain times. Generally I would stick to the rifle and shotgun perks, and then also the stalker trait skills, but whatever fits your hunting style best is what you should go with. But hopefully this will give you an idea of what all the skills do. Alright, so just a couple quick things I would like to cover that I didn't get to cover in the last video as well. Where should you hunt? Generally, hunt around water. Most of the animals tend to congregate around the water because they all have to come to drink at some point. So this is where it's easy to find them. Like looking at the map, I can know automatically where animals are going to come to drink, but I don't know exactly where they're going to go to feed or rest. So generally hunting around water is probably the most effective way to hunt animals, okay? Also, shoot absolutely everything, okay? Just shoot everything you see. It really, if you want to get the money and the weapon score to level up and progress through the game and get better weapons and equipment, shoot everything. Okay, you don't have to shoot it perfectly, you don't have to shoot it with the right gun, just get it all down. Okay, anything you see, shoot it. Now, a lot of people, if they find a good harvest and they want to taxidermize it or something, generally, I wouldn't say when you're first starting the game, don't taxidermize, just hit the save harvest, okay? And then you can taxidermize it later when you have the money. But right now, you're trying to save up money to get better ammo, guns, and scopes, and you really don't need to be wasting your money on taxidermizing animals. Instead, focus on something else, okay? That is really something I see a lot of people doing, taxidermize animals, and then they have no money to do anything. So it's when you get in a little bit of a pickle sometimes. So don't always taxidermize animals. Don't forget that the save harvest button is there. Alright, and one last question that I get quite a lot is it possible for me to get diamonds when I first start, or do I have to be a certain level? Now, you do not have to be a certain level. A diamond could be your first kill. Doesn't happen often, but it's possible, okay? And I'll show y'all a quick clip as an example. Alright guys, so out here in front of me I have this really nice gemsbuck, and it does have the potential to be a diamond. It's got pretty big horns on it, So there's also another decent level 4 over there. This is the one I'm focused on right now. I want to get right about 150 meters away. That way I can, actually, we might want to hurry up because there's probably a lion over there. That's why that kudu's spooking. So, yeah. Hopefully that got her. Let's run over there and see. But hopefully that got her. Yeah, I think there's probably a lion running around over there because all of a sudden these kudu just started running all over the place. Yeah, hopefully we didn't mess the shot up. It should have been okay. It looked like it was. But I want to go up here and see if we have vital blood. If not, we're going to have to track her down and see if we can find her. Okay guys, here she is. There were absolutely no tracks. But yeah, that is a really big girl right there. And Diamond, oh my gosh. Holy crap. Yeah. That was almost a max score Diamond Gemsbuck. Holy crap, max for them is 358. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're just gonna save that harvest. But what? I knew she looked big, but I didn't think she was that big. And oh, we got lucky with that shot. We got really lucky. Holy crap, guys. Here, and I'll show you what level I am here in just a second. But what the... Oh my gosh. That's huge. I'm shocked she isn't a level 5. Wow. Well, that is awesome, guys. There we go. That's fantastic. Holy smokes. And we got the level up with it, but I am level 3. Okay? This proves to you, you do not have to be a high level to get a diamond. Okay? All you have to do is know where to find the animals. That's all you have to do. You don't have to be a crazy high level. You don't have to be level 60 or anything to find a diamond. You can find them literally any time. That could be your first kill in the game. You never know. So, wow, that is awesome. That is so awesome. Let's go. I will take that all day long. Let's go, guys. So yeah, as you can see, you don't have to be level 60 in order to get diamonds. I am level 3, and I shot that massive diamond Gemsbuck. It's the biggest one I've shot in a year and a half. Okay, it's massive. So that is just more proof right there that you do not have to be a high level to shoot a diamond. It can happen anytime, okay? Just so y'all know. Alright guys, and I think that will be it for today. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. And I will see you next time.